welcome along to you. Yes, it's Chris Reardon with today's United Kingdom Talk, doing a bit of an email catch-up programme today, as we do regularly now, don't we? We do email catch-up programmes to deal with all the massive emails that are coming in now. Don't forget, you can always email the programme by sending a message to chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. And I know the first thing you'll want to know today is, how is Joy doing in the hospital? Well, I've emailed her daughter. Joy's daughter's name is Lynn. And I emailed her and asked how Joy was. I think you heard in the last show. And she's at the moment in Hammersmith Hospital, I believe. And I intend to go and visit her as soon as I'm not quite sure exactly where she is yet. I shall have to email Lynn again and see if she wants visitors, of course. And Lynn wrote back, "Dear Chris, thanks for your email and phone numbers." Because I sent Lynn my phone number. "Spoke to Mum this morning on the phone. She sounds in good spirits and was touched by your concern. Hopefully she should be home by the middle of next week. They have still got a couple of tests to do, but things are looking good and we are expecting a positive outcome. Love, Lynn." P.S. Mum sends her love. So that's good news there. Actually, I didn't realise Joy could speak on the phone, so I'm going to, when I finish the show today, I think I'll try and locate exactly where she is in the hospital and give her a ring. All right, so that's the news about Joy. You wanted to know that, didn't you? Hey, I know you wanted to know that. Also, some other animal news. We've got animal news, good news. Tiny, my cat, the old dear, poor old soul, Tiny, who recently went to the vet a couple of weeks ago, she is now putting on weight well, and she's much happier since she had the minor operation pulling her toenail out. So that's all sorted. She's putting on weight. What she had to eat today, because she's only eating human food now, you know that. She's had, tinned corned beef, and I think that's all she's had today. Yeah, 2 lots of corned beef, which she quite likes. Oh yes, only the best for my pussies. I've told you that before. You don't want to be putting anything in those pussies that they don't like. Absolutely not. And she doesn't like cat food anymore. That's the way it is. She doesn't like the cat food, so she will have human food. Corned beef today. What's she got tomorrow? I think she's got ham tomorrow. And I've also got some more diced turkey in the fridge, but I might not cook it. I might give it to her raw, but I've got to put it in the freezer first. Now, why'd you say that? I shall come on to that, my darlings. Don't worry. All in good time. We've got a whole hour together. You can't have everything right at the beginning, OK? Also, Monty, my sister's dog, is also doing quite well as well. He's had his first little operation because on his legs, I can't remember if it's just the front ones or the front ones and back ones or just the back ones. I can't remember. But he's a Labrador, chocolate Labrador, and he's got extra bone on the back of his legs, which is making him walk funny. So he's had the first operation on that. Apparently, according to my niece Tracy, he is now up and sort of hobbling about, but he seems okay. So clearly that operation was all right. But apparently, the vet, they only do one leg at a time, which kind of makes sense, really. I suppose if they do something wrong, which is always, let's face it, you know, when you go into it, I shouldn't really say this, there might be 1 or 2 of you going in for an operation at some point, but they do sometimes get things wrong. You know that, dear. You see the stories. I don't want to worry you. I don't want to worry you. Can I suggest, if you're going in hospital, take one of those permanent marker pens with you, OK, and mark out on your body the area that they're supposed to operate on. That way, you can be sure. Well, I hope they'll be able, as long as the surgeon can read. Then perhaps, you know, if you're having an operation on your arm or something like that, and maybe it's going to be in a plaster cast, you don't want to wake up and find the wrong arm in the plaster cast and the other arm still not being fixed, do you? So can I suggest that you take in one of those permanent marker pens and mark on your body whatever you're having done? You know, maybe it's a little bit more serious. Maybe you're having an organ out or perhaps a kidney. Mark on your body which side you're having it out. God's sake, there's enough mistakes being made as it is. Talking about operations, as you know, it was a minor operation, well, a major operation on my car last week, wasn't there? I told you it was the wiring loom that had broken. And just before I came in here today, I always check my fluids once a week. And you must check your fluids, dears. Oh, it's so important. If you are a driver, always check the fluids. You never know. One day you could be going along after not checking your fluids and you put your foot on the brake, nothing. And that'll be the end of you, wouldn't it? Eh? That will be the end of you, dear. So check your fluids. I was checking my fluids today, and when I opened the thing, and I thought, oh, that's a new piece of wire there. And I actually saw what they'd fixed. It was a wiring loom that goes between the injectors on the top of the engine and all that business. So I was just sort of quite pleased after paying all that money to see this little... It was only a little bit of... Well, actually, it's not. It looks like a lot of wires, and they've all got little plugs at the end. So clearly quite a lot of work there. And I suppose, well, they tell you that anyway. Probably only took him 5 minutes. Take one plug out and put another plug in. I don't know. Right, the email address once again, it's chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. All right, off we go then. Hello to Matty in Australia. How are you, Matty? One of our regular correspondents, boys and girls, who writes, hello, Chris, how are you? I'm very well, thank you very much. Much better now that I heard from Joy, or at least her daughter, Joy, you know. My friend, I'm not a cook, he says. I'm not a professional cook, but my mum is teaching me to cook. Well, that's a good thing, you see, because at some point, I hate to tell you this, you're going to want to leave home, and you don't want to be living on pot noodles and ready-made meals. You don't want to do it. Actually, come to think of it, I was watching, we have a programme here in the UK at the moment called, it's something like Life Down Under or something like that. And it's about people from the UK who they want to emigrate to Australia. And there's plenty of us. I'm one of them. Unfortunately, I don't really have one of those skills that they require. Electrician, but I know you want all sorts of people there, hairdressers, butchers and everything, because you're a rapidly expanding nation. But unfortunately, I don't have those skills, and I don't think they want a chat. It's probably got plenty of chat show hosts, possibly not as camp as me, but there are some. It would be a lot harder, or practically impossible, for someone to go over there, I think, and get perhaps a DJ job or a chat show host job, unless you're, for some reason, you know the right people and all that sort of thing. But skilled jobs are, as you probably know, Matty, in great demand at the moment in Australia. And we have this programme where people, they want to emigrate there, so they go there for a week, which in my opinion is not long enough. You know, if you're going to try a country, you've got to try it for at least 6 months before you decide. You cannot do it in a week. I don't care what anyone says, you can't do it in a week. And on this particular programme, which I just watched yesterday, actually, this family, there was a husband, a wife, and 2 lovely little children, and they went to, I think it was Perth. And his trade is he's a butcher, and he went to Perth, and they stayed for a week and decided, yes, they wanted to emigrate to Australia. And a great thing there. But the reason I mentioned that was because the particular butcher, I can't think of the butcher's name now, but he was a really nice bloke. He was a great big bloke, but his personality was just electric. Before they went over there, he sent them videos, like the butcher in Australia sent the family in the UK videos and was saying, yeah, come out here, you know, you got a better life out here, the kids will be better, we've got a job here, we need you here. And this butcher, he's got a great big butcher's, he was practically begging this guy to come over. I mean, You really must, you guys in Australia must be, I don't like to use the term desperate. You must be, this is the word, you must be in great need of them. You must be very, very short of people to do these jobs. That's all I can think of. But this Australian butcher, he was really, egging this guy to come over and say, come on, we've got a job for you. We need you to work here, and you need to live the Australian life. And so they've moved out there. So good luck to them. I mean, it's something that I wish I'd done perhaps in my mid-20s, but at that time I had mum and dad was still alive, and there was one other thing that was kind of keeping me here, just in case it required my attention. As life would have it, it didn't require my attention in the end, unfortunately. And mum died, of course, in 2000, and by then I was like nearly 40 years old. No, I'm 45. It's all a bit late, really, you know, to start a new career and that sort of thing. So that's just the way it is. I have also thought Australia, possibly. What about a place to retire? Australia. I mean, obviously, I'm not sure about that. How they feel about that. I suppose if you had enough money behind you, then that would be okay. Because my guess is the one thing that another country, or it doesn't seem to matter in this here in the UK, but one thing that another country wouldn't want is for you to become a burden to them, medically wise. If you suddenly wanted all these operations within a couple of months of being there, then you would cost... I mean, medical operations are horrendously expensive, aren't they? Especially with all the new drugs and all the equipment and all that. I mean, they can do some marvellous things. They can do some marvellous things in the medical world now. But it is very, very expensive. Here in the UK, we are blessed with the National Health Service. A lot of people will say it's not that good anymore and this, that and the other. But at the end of the day... yes, of course, they do get things wrong. It's the same with everything. They do get things wrong in the NHS. But at the end of the day, it's free. If I am, for whatever reason, suddenly rushed to hospital in the next few minutes, it won't cost me a penny. The problem occurs, we have it's not as bad as it used to be, but we have a problem with waiting lists. And sometimes I think, Matt, my mum was actually booked in for a chest x-ray when she wasn't feeling too good at home. Now, the chest x-ray was, I think, 2 months ahead of where she was not too well, so she had to wait. During that time, she was rushed into hospital and I lost her. And I wonder sometimes, had she have been taken straight in for that x-ray when she first became not too well, would she still be here now? So we have a bit of a problem there with waiting lists. But I think all in all, the NHS is a very good thing. And it's, of course, unique in the world. People from, it has to be said, you know, people from all other countries who are very poor get over here and get themselves in hospital. Now, what do I think of that? Well, it's difficult. What do you do when someone's very ill? Do you just leave them there? Very difficult. On the other hand, it's not good for the NHS to have all these people coming over and getting their free treatment. Very, very difficult. Very difficult to know what to say about that, really. I know in America, I've been told many times, we have many American listeners and indeed viewers. I'm pretty sure that if you collapse in the street and you're taken to a hospital, am I right in thinking the first thing they ask you for is your insurance? Your medical insurance. And if you don't have it on you, are you just like left? I'd be interested to know that. Anyone in America, let me know that. Please inform me if I'm wrong. If I'm ever wrong about anything, please do let me know. It's chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk, the email address, all right? Oh, yes. And you were saying your mum's teaching you to cook. Yeah, it's much better than ready meals. But the reason I started talking to you about that Australian butcher was because his butcher's shop actually does ready-made meals. But not like, you know, when you go and buy in a supermarket and you buy these ready meals. And, of course, they've been made in great big machines and all sorts of preservatives and God knows how much salt and sugar are in these things. He actually makes this stuff in his shop, ready-made meals, which is, I think that's fantastic. And we need, and just give me an idea actually, this is the sort of thing that we should have here. If there was a shop in town, now I don't buy ready meals, very, very rarely. When I talk of a ready meal, I mean perhaps a casserole in one of those plastic things, right, with a bit of cling film on the top and a bit of cardboard. You take the cardboard off, you pierce the thing on the top, you put the thing in the microwave, 2 minutes, done. That to me is a ready meal that you want to avoid. The only ready meals I have, and I suppose these could be classed as ready meals, are things like beans on toast, which is beans in a can. So does that class as a ready meal? Maybe it does. Or Heinz do a really nice spaghetti bolognese. Or a ravioli. Now, those to me are not really ready meals. The ready meals are the ones in the plastic things that have got all this additives and what have you. I suppose there's additives in the spaghetti bolognese and the baked beans. I've never really looked, to be honest. But I mean, of course, I was brought up on baked beans, Matt. There's nothing. You must be able to do beans on toast, Matt. Eh? This butcher, I think he's in Perth. Can't remember the name of the butcher. But he actually now makes ready meals. Yeah, very different. Because they are fresh ready meals, aren't they? They're fresh, if you see what I mean. So he's cooking them out the back in his kitchen. He sells them that day. That to me is not the same as the ready meals that you buy in a supermarket. But you don't want to be eating those, Matt. You want to let your mum teach you to cook. All right? But now and again, I will allow you to open a can of... Have you had beans on toast, Matt? Oh, you must have had that. Tell me if you've had beans on toast, okay? I was brought up on beans on toast. Love it. Love it. He says, I missed seeing your head on one of the last shows because when I got to your website, there was no video of you. Yeah, it all went a bit wrong, I'm afraid. Well, I'm not quite sure what happened. It just, I looked over at, I have two computers here now in front of me. One on the left makes the audio side of things, and the one on the right makes the video side of things. And for some reason, the one on the right didn't work properly. Technically wise, what was happening at that time was there was what is called a KVM switch underneath. Now, a KVM switch is a little device which means two computers can share one monitor, one keyboard, and one mouse. Now, the thing is, when the new computer arrived, the connections on the back were different, i.e. the mouse and the keyboard were USB, whereas on the old computer, the mouse and the keyboard were the little round sockets. So there were different sockets, so I did get a couple of adapters to see if that would work, and it didn't. So what we ended up doing was having two keyboards, two mice, but only one screen, because that appeared to work. But I've got a feeling when I switched from one screen to the other, it mucked up the video. So now I have two completely separate screens. I'll tell you what, do you want to have a little look? I will show you this. I'm sorry, if you're listening, of course, you can't see these things, so I shall describe. But basically, I'm sitting in the middle. There's a little camera in the middle, right? Okay. On the left-hand side is one computer, and it's running the software that records the audio. This is for the radio show, okay? The radio show. And in front of me is the software. It's up. And at the bottom, there are two green bars that go across to the right. And if I speak quietly, the green bars don't go very far. If I speak loudly, they go right across to the other side, all right? So that's the computer that's recording the radio show, and the computer that records the video show is next to it on the right there. Again, you can see those green bars down the bottom, but they are not actually, they are only indicating to me what the level of my voice is for the video side of things. Now, you won't be able to see this, but that's the video program there that records all my video stuff. All right, so that's how it works. And it's a particularly messy room, which I have shown you on occasions before. We've got my Dalek there. That black thing there is a torch. There's a daylight bulb there, which I've just put in. I've got my sunflower, bits and pieces on the wall. Up there, I can't remember if I've shown you all this before. Up on a shelf are 2 devices. I don't know if you can see, they've got little green and red lights on them. And again, on these devices, we have some lights going across. If you look right at the very top, you can see a little red light flashing again. That's called a compressor. Okay, now I've got 1 minute. Let me just put this camera back here. I'll put that back there. There we are. That's called a compressor. And what that basically does is, while I'm talking, if I talk quietly, it brings the sound up. And if I talk loudly, it brings the sound down to make it easier on your ears at home. All right, Matty? So there we are. You learnt a new thing. So that's why the video didn't work for some reason. But since I put that new monitor there, it seems to work now. He says, I think it's better that you're on video too so I can look at you. Are you sure you got something wrong with your eyes? I'm not exactly... Am I easy on the eyes? I don't know, dear. I did actually try and put a tie on today, but I just couldn't tie it properly. I mean, you know, I've never really learnt how to dress myself. My one of the people I work for, John, he works at West 5. Now, West 5 is where we are doing bingo at the moment every Tuesday night between 8 p.m. and... Do you know, I've got an itchy nose and I've got a tissue with me. I don't think I've got a tissue here. Let me have a... Oh, dear, scratch my nose. What does that mean, itchy nose? Is that people talking about you? I hope it's only bad things. That's Bella. Yeah, John works at the West 5, where we do the bingo every Tuesday night. West 5, that's Pope's Lane in Ealing, Tuesday nights, 8 p.m. to 12 midnight. And he will tell you that it doesn't matter what I wear, I always look scruffy. I don't know why that is. I'm one of those people that cannot. Isn't it marvellous? Some people, they can put anything on and they look stunning. Not me, dear. I look like a tramp. Believe me, I've told you before, I'm from the gutter and that's in where I intend to stay. All right. He says, I think it's better so I can look at you on the video. It loses my concentration. If I'm listening on the radio, I like to see your... Oh, sorry. It loses my concentration if I'm listening on the radio. I like to see your head on the video shows because you're so funny. Funny things happen on video. Cheeky, he says. Warning, read before saying this. Oh, you could be in the nude. That'll never happen on this family programme, I'll have you know, Matty. Good God, have you gone mad, dear? He says, the movie Truth of Cats and Dogs is a comedy, I think. He typed it into Google. Made in the year 1996, starring Uma Thurman. Now, I've heard of that name. I've got to tell you, Matty, I'm not good with celebrities. OK? You've got to be a pretty big star for me to remember your name. Frank Sinatra, Shirley Bassey... Brad Pitt, Sylvester Stallone, big stars. These young new stars, I don't know. I've heard of the name Uma Thurman. I don't even know. Is that a man or a woman? Don't even know. Janine Garofalo? Never heard. Never heard. Okay. He says, I also, once a few years ago... Oh, can I read that bit? Let me have a look there. Am I allowed to tell you this? Hang on a minute. Can we read this bit? Yes, I think we can. I think we can read this bit because no one knows who you are, right? I also once, a few years ago, into debt by credit card by the bank. But it took about 8 whole months to get out of being under the threats period by the bank. But I was lucky that I got out of it and the bank wiped it because my parents helped me with the banks through this terrible period of time. I have learnt my lesson, but I was very lucky that they wiped my debt. You are lucky, my friend. You're very lucky because it wasn't easy on me and my parents had to write letters to the banks and the banking ombudsman. So well done for that. When it comes to things like... debt with banks. You know what? I don't think it's one... I don't go along with the fact that it's only the person's fault. A lot of the fault is the bank as well. I've said before, years ago, if you wanted a credit card, you had to pass all sorts of tests. You had to have a meeting. I remember getting my first mortgage for my flat in Wandsworth. I've told this story before. I had to go into the building society. I had to provide all these not receipts. You know the little piece of paper that you get from work to tell you how much you earned? I had to get months' worth of those. I had to prove that I'd been saving for a period of months. You had to do all that. Up until recently, until this credit crunch business, up until then, the banks were throwing the money at you. I bet, you say here about your credit card, I bet it was quite easy for you to get this credit card, was it, Matt? So therefore, it seems to me that it's not just your fault. It's partly the bank's fault as well for giving it so lightly. This money is just given away too easily. The banks look at you and they think to yourself, yeah, give them a card and we'll make money out of him. Not in your case. And I'm glad that you won that particular one, actually. And unfortunately, it's taken this whole credit crunch thing, this whole thing with the banks now and all the money business. Why did it have to come to this? It's only because they got so blooming greedy, giving their money out left, right and centre without checking people out properly. We had this story on the BBC News, only this week, of course, that the American government is bailing out those mortgage companies there, aren't they? Billions and billions of dollars. God, so where does all that money come from anyway? That's the other thing. You ever wonder that? We had a bank here last year, the Northern Rock Building Society, who have been bailed out by our government. Billions of pounds. What I just don't understand is where does all that money suddenly come from that the governments have to do this sort of thing? And yet, oh no, we can't afford to give pensioners another £10 a month. Isn't it? That's what I say. What do you think? Let me know. Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. It's made too easy now for people like you, Matt, who cannot possibly afford to pay that money back. It's been made too easy for you to get your hands on it. So I don't blame you fully at all. I blame you a little bit, but I think I put most of the blame on the banks themselves for not fully checking you out first, whether you can pay it back or not. And it goes for everyone else, all these other people who are in mortgage difficulties. How ludicrous to borrow 6 or 7 times your annual wage to buy a house. When I went for my first mortgage, it was you were allowed 3 times your annual wage, or if you were really, really lucky and worked hard at it, you might get away with 3.5 times. I always remember that. My first mortgage was with the Halifax Building Society. 3 times they would let you have. If you were very lucky, you'd get 3.5 times. 4 times? Absolutely not. Never heard of anyone back then in the mid-80s who managed to get more than 3.5 times. A lot of it's the banks, Matt. Don't worry about it. Matt indeed says, basically, with the banks I was with, they just give credit cards out like lollies. Here you go, you see. Because I was on low income, and then I tried at the other banks, and I got declined. So I also knew that the banks I was with just wanted the money. They just gave it away like lollies, as that I had 3 credit cards. 3 credit cards. Total 2 from the same bank and the other one from another bank. Well, Matt, on the subject of credit cards, listen. If you want a credit card, fine. But you only need one. I have only, throughout my entire life, I have only ever had 1 credit card. I know people that have got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 credit cards. And they're, I hate that term maxed out, but I don't know why. They're up to, I prefer to say, up to their limit. They're up to their limit on all these cards. How on earth do you live with yourself like that? On the other hand, I was brought up to understand that if you haven't got the money for something, you don't have it. So many people, so many young people here in the UK who are in college and places like that think of it as a normal thing to owe £10,000. My God, £10,000! You know, when I've just had my visa bill in today, actually, which is a little bit higher than usual because of the new computer and, of course, the repair to the car. But I still know I can pay it. The thought, this is my tight bit coming in here, the thought of having to pay interest to anyone fills me with dread and desire. Not desire, fills me with dread and horror. Horror. Pay interest? I don't think so. Matt, you only need one credit card. And if you ever get another one, my advice is you decide how much you can afford per month. And if your limit is, I don't know what your limit was. If your limit on the card you get is $300 and you know that if you ever got to $300 you wouldn't be able to pay it back, then you ring up that credit card and say, I want my limit to be $100. Work out yourself. And can you do the same here in the UK? I do it. Every now and again, because I'm a fairly good creditor, or because I'm a fairly good customer, and I always pay stuff off, every now and again I get another letter from the credit card people telling me that my limit has been raised to whatever. And do you know what I do? I ring them straight up and I tell them, no, I'd like you to lower my limit, please, to whatever. Oh. And they're always shocked. Oh, are you sure about that, Mr. Reardon? Yes, I'm very sure. Thank you very much. And I lower the limit. And when I've paid one bill and the next period comes in my head, I always know roughly how much I'm spending on that card. Now, there would be some people that would say, well, if you're going to do that way, you might as well be using cash. But I get 1.5% back of all the money I've spent over the year in January. That's why I use the credit card whenever I can, and at the end of the month, I pay it off. They don't get a penny interest out of me, my darlings. Now and again, I make a mistake. Usually a bank holiday. Because, of course, a bank holiday is not classed as a normal day, is it? Right? So sometimes I count the days and I never pay until the last minute, because otherwise they're holding on to your money for nothing, aren't they? Always pay at the last minute, but you've got to work it out in your head. You know, if is it 4 days? Hang on, I've got a statement here somewhere, I think, right in front of me. Have I got a statement here? Maybe not. Oh, here's one. Look, let me see. How long do they give you to pay it then? It says, oh, it doesn't say on this one, does it? No, I think. Let's have a quick look on there. No, it doesn't say. I think when you do when you pay, I think it takes 3 days or something. So you've got to work it out. You know, if for example you've got to pay your bill by Friday, then pay it Monday. So it gives you a little bit of space. You've got to work it out carefully and beware of bank holidays, because I've been tripped up on a bank holiday twice. I'm not happy. Not happy when that happens, Matty. So he says, so these big companies should also not give out credit to people like lollipops. And not, I prefer to have the lollipops, to be honest, than the money, wouldn't you, Matty? I think you would. A bit of jelly and ice cream. And not on low income, because there are too many people kicked out of their homes by debt collectors. But it's safer getting a Visa debit card using your own money than a credit card. He says, I've never been in trouble with the police or debt collectors and don't drive and have never been in trouble with the law. Also, some of the banks and the credit card departments, the people can get a bit nasty, I've been told, by customers on if they haven't been receiving the payments. Well, anyway, my friend, some of this email is private. I just wanted to tell you some other stuff. All right. Thank you, Matty. And Matty has also watched the Pam Ann videos that I told him to watch. Did anyone else see those? The British Airways Pam Ann videos. If you haven't seen those yet, type into YouTube, go to youtube.com and type in British Airways Pam, P-A-M, space A-N-N. And look for the long video. It's about 2.5 minutes long altogether, and that's very amusing. It's a young lady, Pam Ann, is a cabaret artist. I've worked with her many times, and she is as nice as pie. She's lovely, and she's very, very talented, very, very funny indeed. Unfortunately, some of the idiots who write reviews in the London papers absolutely slated her. But then I'm afraid that's what critics usually do. They can't actually entertain themselves, so they lay into everyone else. So I haven't got time for that. Pam, if you ever get a chance to go and see her somewhere, please do so, all right? Thank you, Matty. There is some more emails from Matty, which I don't know if we'll get to any of the others. Email address, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. There is a postal address as well. If you're sitting there listening to the radio, oh, I haven't got a computer, so I can't join in. Yes, you can, my loves. You can join in. Postal address coming up in a minute, all right? Got to say hello to Jay. I only know you as Jay Bird. You didn't put your name on there. Who sends in this. He's watched one of the old YouTube videos, and he writes, love the accent. I can't stop watching videos with how UK people talk. He must be in America. So thank you for that, Jay Bird. I don't know what you mean. What do you mean by the way we talk? Do we talk a little bit different to you, do we? Are you in the States? Do let us know, okay? chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Right, here comes the postal address. Are you ready, boys and girls? Got your pen ready? Here we go. It's Chris Reardon, United Kingdom Talk, P.O. Box 4073, Bracknell, Bracknell, RG42 9ED, United Kingdom. Ready again? Chris Reardon, United Kingdom Talk, P.O. Box 4073, Bracknell, Bracknell, RG429ED, United Kingdom. Don't be shy. Pen to paper. You see, we can all join in here. All right? Do you know what I had before I came up the stairs today? Haven't had one for ages and ages. A banana sandwich. Oh, it was delicious. I had two, but I'd be very piggish. I had 2 bananas in there, 2 slices of bread. Lovely. Do you like a banana sandwich? Yeah, something else that you can make at home for yourself, Matty? A banana sandwich. We love them. We love them. Hello to Toby. Hello, Toby. Nice to hear from you. It says, hi, Chris. I'm listening to this year's beginnings shows. Blimey, you've gone back to January, have you? I heard you have a nasal blocking problem. Yes, I do. Have had this for, oh my God, since I was a child. Never really gone to the doctor about it. Never bothered, because it's not sort of threatening in any way. I kind of just put up with it, you know. Actually, it is worse at sometimes than others. Now, today, not bad at all. Haven't had to reach over for my noise cancelling button at all today. I think once. Some shows, I keep having to reach over, pull a switch, make a vile noise, and then flick the switch again so that you don't hear it. Today hasn't been too bad. So it sometimes good, sometimes bad. Today, good. He says, and you give your nose a squeeze. He says, oh, that's horrible and contradicting yourself. You said you don't like drugs, and if you get a headache, you take a few hours of sleeping to fix it instead of taking pills, which is, yes, I do. But I very, very rarely get headaches. Really rare. I always feel sorry for people. You get some people, of course, they have them all the time, don't they? My dad used to suffer from terrible headaches and he would have to go to sleep for a while. I wonder what it is that makes some people susceptible to headaches. And other people like myself, very, very lucky with headaches, don't get them. Very, 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 very rare. I would say I get a headache less than once a year. Really as rare as that. He says, but now you are using the Vicks all the time. Oh, you saw my Vicks thing? Yeah, it's in the bedroom, actually. No, I don't use it that much. He says, when you have your nose holes blocked, you give them a squeeze. When you have your ears itchy, you give a squeeze. When your toes are itchy, you give a squeeze. And when you have constipation, you give another squeeze. What a liberty. I love it. I love it. Here, he says, let me give you tips to fix your blockage problem. Have you noticed, when your nose is blocked, you lie down on your bed and you turn yourself one way, i.e. your left shoulder facing into the bed and your right shoulder and right face pointing upwards. Your right nasal cavity will get through, vice versa. Your left face pointing upwards, your left nasal cavity will breathe again. It's all very complicated, dear, isn't it, eh? That's a damn clever trick my mum told me when I was young. Has your mother told you this? No, she hasn't. Oh, he says, stop using the Vicks and save money. He says, by the way, I use cotton buds every time after the shower. Yeah, that is an old show, isn't it? I said to you, you're not supposed to put things in your ears. Although it is hard. Isn't it hard sometimes when you know you've got a cotton bud in the bathroom, right? And your ear is really itching. It is so tempting. And I did it I've got to be honest. I did it. Look, they're still here. 1 minute. I think the cotton buds are still here. There it is. Look. Used cotton bud. Used cotton bud in my bin. I knew it was still in there. Hang on, let me... It doesn't smell of anything either. You would think it would smell of something if it's been in your ear, wouldn't you? Anyway. Place that, but we only use them once. That is one thing. I'm sorry, I am a great recycler, but there's two things I will not recycle. Number one is cotton buds, and number two, toilet paper. I'm sorry, I'm not using it twice. Call me old-fashioned, I am not using these items twice. Yeah, it's very, very tempting to put a cotton bud in your ear and have a good scratch, but you really shouldn't do it. You mustn't do it. By the way, my ears have cleared up now. I've stopped using my little spray that came from the doctor this week. So no more itchy ears for the moment. I'll hold on to this. I think you can use it for about a month. Did it say a month on there? Use within 1 month after opening. So there we are. By the way, I use cotton buds every time after the shower. One for the left ear, one for another. I've been doing this since I was probably 10 years old and I've never had a problem. I don't understand how you clean your ear holes if you don't use anything to clean them. Have you seen how thick your earwax is? Well, do you know what earwax is for? Eh? Does anyone know what earwax is for? Any ideas? I'll tell you what. Let me just write something down there. You try and find that out before the next show, okay? See if you can find out what... No, don't look it up on the internet. Oh, Karl, no. Try, Karl. I know it's hard. Karl in Yorkshire is at this moment about to open up Google and search for it. No, Karl. This is fun. It doesn't all have to be about being right all the time. Although, of course, I am. Okay? Try and work out in your own mind... What do you think you've got earwax for? I know the answer already because I listened to Dr. Karl on Triple J, Australia's youth national station, which I love. I always listen to Dr. Karl on Triple J in Australia. And he told me what it was. If you have any idea what earwax is for, let me know on the email, okay? Chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Don't look it up. See if you can work out what it is for yourself. There's no prize or anything, so if you look it up, you're only cheating yourself, okay? What is earwax for? Email me and let me know, and I'll let you know on the next show, okay? Chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. 1 minute, let me just write that down. Earwax for. Earwax for, and that'll be Saturday. There we are. What is earwax for? What does it do? Let me know. Chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. .co.uk. He says, now use the cotton buds to dig your left ear and give it a... Oh, God. So, what is wrong with you, Toby? Oh, you're some vile things in this email, dear. He says, give the earwax a smell. It smells as bad as tooth floss when you do, when you floss your teeth. If you haven't flossed your teeth for a long time, you should do this every day. It's really important, actually. If you haven't flossed with floss for a long time, and I mentioned this back in January it was, then give your teeth a floss and then smell that piece of floss. It is absolutely disgusting. If you flossed your teeth a bit more often, it wouldn't smell like that, would it? Anyway, he says on the subject of the cotton buds, after you've poked your ear, it smells as bad as floss. It can also give you smelly breath because ear and nose and mouth are all connected. Did you know that? When I feel my ears itchy, I must use cotton buds. A little advice for you. Keep up the hard work, from Toby. So thanks for that, Toby. We love it. We love that email. Let me just attach this ready for Saturday's show. Remember that. See if you can work out what earwax is. What do you think earwax is for? Let me know. Chris at UnitedKingdomTalk.co.uk. Right. Oh, hello to Terry. Terry up in Leeds here in the UK. And says, well done on your 300th show. Okay, so thank you very much. Thank you very much. He was also having a look at the thing I mentioned on the last show where someone put on Anorak Nation, the man on RTI who can talk and talk and talk about any old rubbish, makes for very strange listening. He wouldn't win a prize against the just a minute rules, but he certainly has ability to waffle aimlessly. They are, of course, talking about me. So thank you for the recognition. I will accept any waffle aimlessly certificates that you want to post to me. Thank you very much. And young Terry up in Leeds thought it was hilarious. Thank you, Terry. Nice to hear from you. I don't hear from you so much anymore, dear. Why is that? Don't you love me anymore? No one loves me. There is no one in this world who loves me. They don't. Now, where are we going now? 1 second. Oh, it's our friend Dougie. Hello, Dougie. In Akeley. How are you, sir? Is it Akeley or Ackley? I can't remember now. I haven't heard from you from a while. You keep very quiet sometimes. People disappear in a puff of smoke, and then they appear again. Dougie says, I love it. Hi, Chris. Doing a whole story about the cute guy from the RAC. I had a big smile on my face, he says. Wish you had a digital camera on you so you could have documented the whole thing. Car repairs suck. That last 2 repairs on my 95 Pontiac Grand Prix cost me over $1,900. And the repairs were only a few months apart. Oof. Great show. Take care, Doug. Thank you, Doug. Nice to hear from you. But as I say, my car's all up and running now, so I'm quite pleased about that. It's horrible. It's horrible when your car goes down, but it's marvellous. And it's great when you get the car back and it's all working perfectly. Eh? Hello to Louise. Hello, Louise. I haven't heard from you for a while, darling. Hope you're okay and everything's going well. Yeah, things are fine here. Apart from Joy not being too well, I was very concerned about her, but it seems that she isn't too bad at all and she'll be coming out of hospital soon. So hopefully we'll get to talk to her on the phone about that, okay? Oh, and incidentally, spoke to Ross P again the other day. And yes, he's up for coming up and talking all about his new podcast. All right? I don't actually have the you are the website address for Ross's podcast with me. Do you want me to give it? Yeah, Ross is a friend of mine. He's in the east of England, and he's just started doing a podcast, mainly speech, but he's got a bit of music in there as well. There it is. 1 minute. Let me find this for you. If you want to have a little listen to Ross's podcast, then go to Ross. Oh, hang on a minute. Is this it here? He's actually got a few different addresses now. I'm trying to work this out. Oh, here we go. Ross Patzelt Radio Show. I'm going to spell it for you. And it's quite a good show. He also plays music by new bands. I've just noticed he's got a new podcast up there now, where he talks about his house hunting, talking about other people on the radio. Oh, and he's going to sing. He's going to sing cheesy songs. Oh, I get a mention there, look. It says on his podcast, I get several mentions last week on Chris Reardon's United Kingdom Talk. Eh? And he talks about Big Brother as well. If you want to give him a little listen, give him a try. He's just started doing this podcasting thing. Like me, he's not paid. He just does it for the love of it. I listened to it last night. I find it quite interesting, actually. And you'll find that Ross Patzelt radio show. Now, that is spelt the following. RossPatzeltRadioShow.mypodcast.com. All right, Ross Patzelt Radio Show.mypodcast.com, and give him a little go there. All right. Anyway, Louise says, was listening to your show on the Thursday, the 4th of... Was that the August one, my darling? I'm not sure. Was that September? Thursday the 4th. What was that? What would that be? Let me have a quick look. Actually, I think it was this month. Yeah, she was listening to Thursday the 4th of September when heard you reading out an email from Richard, who also has problems with opening orange cartons. Yes, so next week I'm going to Tesco's. Thank you, Richard, for the tip. There you go. You see, we're all here to help one another. There's a song with that in it. Help one another. It's Neighbours, isn't it? Neighbours. Everybody needs to get neighbours with a little understanding just to help a perfect friend or something like that, isn't it? Do you get Neighbours in America? We get that. I don't watch it anymore. I used to watch it when the old lady, Helen Daniels, she died, didn't she? Oh, great actress. Louise goes on to say, heard you say about unwanted joke texts, which I keep getting those. Oh, people, they text boring things, don't they? Heard you say about one, which reminds me of the nuisance withheld numbers I used to get on the home phone. Some days it was 5 or 6 times they call a day. So annoying, you answer the phone and no one would be there. Yeah, it's usually a machine, I'm afraid. Most of the time now, I have my answer phone on at home because I'm fed up with it. I'm sick to death of machines ringing up my phone and trying to sell me stuff. Now I have a service from BT that won't let withheld numbers get through. Yeah, you can have that here in the UK. Yeah, I don't know if anyone else knows that, but if you're listening, watching, or whatever, if you get a lot of withheld numbers and they're annoying you, you can now ring up BT, which is our main telephone company here, or one of the telephone companies here in the UK. And you can request that withheld numbers, i.e. numbers that don't have the number appear on your phone, you can now have the request that those do not get through. They don't even ring your phone, okay? So you can request that now. Even though you have to pay for it, Louise says it's worth it. Have a great weekend, Chris. Love and best wishes from Louise. So nice to hear from you, Louise. How are we doing? Oh, we're nearly running out of time now. We're not going to get through the emails, are we? Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Oh, we'll do a little bit of one and another one here. Do you remember we were talking about foot fetishes? Do you remember that? A while ago, and unfortunately my nephew's, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, my nephew's girlfriend does in fact have a foot fetish. It's all very bizarre, it really is. Anyway, going back to the show on Thursday the 20th of March, someone's put a post on the YouTube, the video version of the show, as I say, Thursday the 20th of March, and the remark is, I am a Swedish foot fetish guy and I'm going to London in October 2008. If there are any females or males who wants to have their feet licked by me. And that's it. I mean, I suppose each and every one to their own, really, isn't it? You know, it doesn't do anything for me, I'm afraid, feet. But there we go. So if you fancy having your feet licked by this bloke, just go onto YouTube and type in United Kingdom Talk, Thursday the 20th of March. You'll find us, you see, I'm always up for helping people, dear. Always up for, you'll find that guy, send him a message, and you never know. This time, next month, you could be having your feet licked. How lovely for you. Horrible. Finally, and we're going to have to hold this email across 2 shows. It's from our cat lover, Susan, who says, I've been planning on writing to you on this subject for quite some time. Did you know that it is very rare to find a big cat with diabetes or kidney problems? The reason is because they eat meat. It was only when processed pet foods, both canned and dry, came on the market that domestic pets started getting these diseases in alarming numbers. The reason is because of the ash content. They contain corn, wheat, rice, etc. Whenever you see a cat or dog grazing in a cornfield or rice paddy for its dinner. Oh, sorry, I got that wrong. When, she says, when have you ever seen a cat or dog grazing in a cornfield or rice paddy for its dinner? Well, of course you don't, do you? You don't. So she says, and we were talking right at the beginning of the show about this food for cats. I've been told by the vets at a teaching university that the best diet you can feed your dog or cat on is raw meat. Raw meat. She says, do not cook it, which is, of course, what I did with the last lot of turkey. It destroys the nutrients like taurine that are essential parts are essential to your pet's health. The vets we use are the ones who teach students to become vets. So very interesting there. And I'm going to have to hold that email there. We'll continue with it on the next show. All right, I've still got a lot of emails to get through on the next show, which we will indeed do. Okay, but indeed, I've got some turkey things down there. I'm going to put them in the freezer now when I finish the show, bring them out again in a couple of days' time, and I'll see if the cats eat it raw. Okay, and I'll let you know back with that. Thanks for the advice, Susan. And that's it for the show today. Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk if you want to send us in an email. Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. See you in the next show. Thanks for watching and listening. Bye-bye.